Hello everybody, Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online Dawntrail. In the last episode, we were waiting for the train to depart on its first run after getting the tracks repaired, and it headed out. And as we were waiting for it to come back, we got another big ol' earthquake. But this time, a giant dome of lightning appeared in the distance, right over Yassilani, which is where we were headed. And where Aaronville's mother is, and so he's understandably concerned. And out of that dome of lightning emerged a fleet of airships, seemingly technologically advanced airships, we can see here. And they were headed straight for Tuliolol, and so we headed back to the city to find it under attack by these strange mechanical enemies. And everyone working to defend the city, and we headed to the palace to find a teched-up Zeralja fighting Gulujaja. And as they dueled, Gulujaja initially seemed to have won the fight. Basically knocked Zeralja completely out, if not killed him. And then something re-raised him. And he came back up, went into some kind of overdrive mode, and then killed Gulujaja. Or at least dealt the fatal blow. Challenged Wuklamat and Kona to basically prove that they're worthy successors, laying siege to his kingdom. And then he left, threatening to kill everyone in the city if they didn't. So, yeah, a whole lot happened really fast. And, Wuklamat's understandably distressed. And we also need to figure out what in the world is going on. The only thing I do know is that, vacation's over. And Zeralja has committed the cardinal sin of pissing me off. And that means we're going to go kick his ass and turn him into a small stain on the floor and a ceiling. So, let's get to it. So, we need to go over there. I think it was Alice that we were talking to. It's taking care of some other business. And yep, the place is still a mess. Don't know how many casualties there have been. Alright, LSA. It's clearly not a person, but it doesn't look like any automaton or magitech weapon I've ever seen. As far and wide as you've traveled, though, perhaps you've encountered something similar before? Would you mind taking a closer look? It may yield some clues as to Zeralja's new powers. Alright, I guess we can take a look. Alright. From a distance, it appeared to be simple armor, but upon closer inspection, its construction is quite intricate. The material from which it is made is unclear, and you see no signs of a power source. The head. In place of where eyes or a mouth might be, you see a strange sigil on the front of this helm. The weapon? The general shape of this weapon resembles a gun, but its construction suggests it's far more advanced than anything you've seen before. So, what do you think? It looks like a person, but it's clearly mechanical. Indeed, while it resembles a person, it has features that make it uncanny. The lack of a face, not least of all. Do you see any sign of a power source? Not particularly. So it probably doesn't run on ceruleum or any other conventional fuels. I tried channeling ether into it earlier, but there was no response. That would seem to rule out it as an arcane entity. It's completely lifeless now, a far cry from the unstoppable enemy it was in battle. Even the material it's made of is a mystery. Rather than metal, it's more akin to stone. Wait, haven't we seen this somewhere recently? In the Sky Deep cenote, apparently. That's right, the glowing stone used in the chamber with the gate to the Golden City. While the soldiers are of a different color, the warships are the same black as the stone of the gate itself. There has to be a connection. Let's share our observation with the others when we gather at Sunperch. The sooner we get to the bottom of this mystery, the better. Only one thing I did not actually decide on is, am I going Red Mage or Warrior? I think we're sticking with Warrior, because, well, it's lower level, so we'll need to get that worked on. So, we'll stick with this. So we're heading up the Sunperch. Alright, Alize. Looks like everyone is here already.
Thank you for coming, everyone. And thank you for taking charge in the relief effort. We would have fared far worse without you.
Someone had to do it, that's all. Come, let's take stock.
In terms of casualties, at least 50 died in the attack. And many times that number are wounded. All available healers are seen to their care. Structural damage at least is limited, so essential business can be conducted without issue. That said, the people are understandably shaken. We must assuage their fears, and begin working to restore things to normal as quickly as possible.
Now, the most confounding mystery remains our enemy. And their mechanical soldiers created with technology that surpasses anything I've ever seen. What is their nature? And how did Zoralja manage to bring them under his command? Such things remain unknown.
They emerged from the dome encasing Yasolani. We're quite certain of that much.
Speaking of the dome, we have some theories, I'm told?
We do?
Indeed. I would like to call upon some helpers to join the discussion. May I invite them here?
Helpers.
By all means.
It's me. Permission has been granted. You can come in.
Greetings, everyone.
Well, since when have you been here? And Yustola as well, apparently.
Raha! Y'shtola!
After that long voyage, I had hoped that we might be afforded a moment's rest, but I gather circumstances are quite dire.
All is well in the Annex, never fear. I've already dealt with the most pressing matters, and others hold the fort in my absence.
Following the changing of Dawn servants, Gulul Jar Jar spoke about the Golden City to his two successors. Thanks to Wuglamat, I was allowed to attend that meeting. What I heard led me to conclude that this was a matter for the students. Thus did I call upon our comrades who possess the requisite expertise.
So they were making their way over while we were playing around in Shaloni.
It was actually after that the dome manifested. But, based on what we know, I have reason to believe that it is connected to the Golden City.
While we're eager to help, we have limited familiarity with the situation. Might we trouble you to explain from the beginning?
As you know, it was a letter I found tucked away in the Baldessian Annex that brought me to Taral. A letter from the Dawn servant addressed to my grandfather, sent some 20 years ago.
The request to investigate the City of Gold?
Indeed. The strange thing is, there was mention of neither Taral nor the city in our records. Hoping to learn the truth of my grandfather's mission, what he did and saw, I volunteered to help in the rite of succession. At the end of which, I was able to hear the tale from Gulul Jar Jar. Like us, my grandfather went to the deepest chamber of the Sky Deep Cenote. And, like us, he saw the gate to the Golden City.
Is that what you required our help with? This gate?
It was. You see, the gate was opened once in the past. And
It led to another reflection.
Oh, really?
I can take the story from here. Considering my part in these affairs, I reckon maybe I'm best equipped to speak on the matter. I was there too, you see. In those ruins, together with Galuf and Gulul Jar Jar. And what I saw that day, I'll never forget.
Alright, well, we're echoing it.
This black stone is remarkable.
There's Galuf.
I cannot help but wonder if the structures in this part of the ruins were built by a completely different civilization.
So yeah, Gulu Jaja would have discovered this place, what, 80 years prior? And then 60 years later, commissioned Galuf to come and investigate.
It was over 1,000 years ago that the giants mined here. Their records make no mention of glowing stones.
So this wasn't here 1,000 years ago.
It harbors high concentrations of ether, and on the surface are what appear to be arcane patterns. They aren't Allagan, or Mahi, or Nemean. If anything, they put me in mind of the calculations of the South Sea Islanders, but even then...
The South Sea Islanders?
7 hells! What did you do?
Nothing.
An earthquake?
That looks familiar.
None of this has ever happened before.
A void gate? Nay, this is different.
A Lullafell with a baby.
Baby? Now hold on. Why would you...
And the key.
Now what's this?
What is this? Who are you?
Well, I guess they don't have time to talk.
Though it never opened again. Galuf continued to study the gate for years after that, hoping to learn something of value. All he could conclude was that it was built with unknown technology, and that it led to another world, one apart from the Void. We'd assumed the ruins themselves were the Golden City, only to discover that the real prize actually lay beyond the gate, and beyond our reach. Couldn't make head nor tail of the artifact either. As it had similar properties to the black stone in the ruins, we were convinced it was important, so Galul Jaja took it to the palace for safekeeping. Galuf, meanwhile, took the baby with him back to Charlian and raised her as his own.
Then the child was...
Ryle.
The earring inside the letter to my grandfather. It was apparently found amongst my swaddling clothes.
If this is true, then it means that you hail from another reflection.
Yep, technically speaking.
So it would seem. I still struggle to take it all in myself. Looking back, Grandfather was always quick to seek distractions whenever I broached the subject. But never would I have guessed anything like this. But enough about me. We have more pressing matters.
The forces that assailed Tuliyola. You suspect they are somehow connected to the Golden City?
Thinking back on it, the soldiers look like they could have been made from the same black stone.
And leading them was Zeralja. His involvement also lends weight to the theory. On the day of the succession ceremony, a bandit took me unawares and knocked me out. When I came to, I found my home turned upside down, with a few particular items missing. Namely the keystones I was entrusted with, for my role as Watcher of the Gate.
The bandit? You believe that it was...
I only got a glimpse of him, but I was a blue-scaled Hubigo. I know of no other.
The artifact stored at the palace was also stolen. The thief struck during the ceremony, and the guard was spread thin.
So our assumption is Zeralja somehow opened that gate to another reflection, where he acquired advanced technology and his mechanical army.
It fits. And if he did, then it's also likely that the dome is a product of this unknown reflection.
Hold on. We've been going on and on about the reflections, but what of my home? What's become of it?
Don't know. No, that second option is not appropriate. We're gonna find out.
Indeed. Where it concerns other realities, I dare say the Scions are best suited to tackle the task.
You can say that again. We've been to the literal edge of existence. Some mysterious giant dome shouldn't scare us.
As you know, our order has ostensibly disbanded. We'd thank you to be discreet about our unofficial reunion.
Huh. Worry not. We'll spare no effort to get to the bottom of this. And with our hero eager to help, you can be confident of the results.
I'm coming with you. If that's where my brother is, then that's where I must go. I can't say I understand everything you're discussing, but I know what I have to do.
Introduce axe to face, yes.
I have to put a stop to Zorozha and restore the people's happiness.
Suffice it to say, I share Lamachi's desire to join you. However, under these circumstances, it would be unwise for both vows to be absent from the city. As such, I shall remain in Tuliyolar. Come what may, I will protect our nation. So go forth, sister, and do what you must.
Thank you.
It may be prudent for us to likewise divide our forces. While one group ventures into the dome, the other keeps guard without.
Agreed. There's something I wish to investigate out here, so I will remain.
I as well. The enemy's warships still loom overhead, and I would see that we are prepared for the worst.
Yep, we need a countermeasure.
I wish to go to the dome.
Understandable.
As a student, I have an obligation to investigate this potential threat to the world. But I'd be lying if I said I'm not deathly curious about my origins. If there's aught to be learned, then I want to learn it.
In that case, please let me come too.
Also
I
understandable.
have to see what's become of my home. I may not be a fighter, but I know those lands like the back of my hand. I can guide you.
If you hadn't offered, I would have asked. We're counting on you.
I'm not one for waiting around, so if it's all the same to you, I'll join the Dome crew.
You should accompany them, Graha. I expect your knowledge and experience will be useful. In the meantime, I intend to learn what I can about the gate, and will keep you apprised of my findings. Pray do the same.
Assuming communication is possible from inside the dome, we'll maintain contact and share any developments.
It seems our teams are assembled. A fine roster, I think.
Looks good to me. We'll find a way to deal with the threat. For the sake of Tural.
It's truly heartening to have you at our side for this. Thank you, everyone. Now, before we set off, there's one thing I need to do. The people are still shaken by the attack, and I'd like to reassure them as best I can.
All right then. I have a plan of action. At least a rough plan of action, anyway. Dola? Another reflection encroaches upon her own, but how? And why now? I now indeed. Gratia. I'm indebted to Ojika for overseeing our operations in my absence. I will endeavor to make myself as useful as I can here. Okay? Albedo? I fear we need to know more if we're to defend against another assault. Kryl. I struggle to believe I'm from another reflection. I wonder, does this mean my soul is thinner than a native of the source? Surely not. Your Stola would have noticed. Gods, there's so much I don't understand, and my head is right to burst. Well... Aaronville, please be safe. And Alizé, we'll find a way to breach the dome and make sure everyone inside is safe. Captain Rum, it's embarrassing to think how Zeralja caught me unawares, but I've no doubt the bastard came to kill me. I reckon he would have succeeded were it anyone else. Who would have thought him taking that key would lead to all this? Nkona. This talk of reflection is perplexing, to say the least. I should be glad for your help in understanding and overcoming this crisis. Alright, we have to read everybody in. Alright, Huklamat. I know what I have to do now. Alright, I know we're in a hurry to set off, but before we do, I need to address my people. The peace we swore to uphold has been shattered. They need to understand what's happened and how we intend to fix it. So I want to call an assembly at the Winged Walk and assure them that all will be well. But as shaken as they are, I don't know how many will come. It's those who are most distressed that truly need to hear your words. If you like, I shall seek out such souls and encourage them to attend. I'll help too. This is an important step in the city's recovery. Care to join us, Yame? Alright then. And while you handle that, Aaronville and I will see to provisions for the expedition. Alright, thank you. I'll go ahead and have the Landsguard announce the address. People must first know there's going to be one before they can decide whether or not they want to hear it. If you could see to the Resplendent Quarter and Bayside Bevy, Alizé and I will split the rest of the city between us. All right then. So, we are headed out to Resplendent Quarter. Alright, so we have an unknown reflection to deal with. And there aren't that many left. Let's see. There's been 7 rejoinings. The 13 reflections, leaving 6. We are aware of the 1st and the 13th, so that leaves 4 remaining reflections that we are unfamiliar with. Alright, Dumbfounded Farmer. If Tuliolol falls to the enemy, what will happen to us, to our homes, our farms, everything we worked so hard to build? Lives and communities and histories all reduced to ash by these merciless villains. I heard Val Wuklamat is planning to address the people, but what's the point? What can she and her brother possibly have to say? Really? The Dawn servants have a plan already? They've lost so much, yet they're prepared to carry on? And sitting around worrying about what's to come will change nothing. It will be a lie to say I'm hopeful for the future, but I will go to hear what they intend to do. We have a level-headed resident. Still can't believe we were attacked. For mercy, my family was spared. I don't know what I would have done had they come to harm. I understand Val Wuklamat is going to make an address soon. I'll be there, of course. This person does not need to be persuaded to attend Wuklamat's address. So you don't count. Oh no, not another one of these. At least it's only 3. At least it's only 3, not 8. Like that one quest, an Endwalker. It is quite possibly the single worst designed quest in the entire game. Alright, Sorrowful Citizen. Please leave me be. My father is gone. Leave me to mourn. Gulu Jaja is slain, and yet Val Wuklamat and Valcorna still fight for our nation, for us? Very well. If they would speak, the least I can do is listen. Alright. Oh, can't go in there. Nobody hiding around back? Nope. We have a cheerful resident. Checking on everyone, are you? The city's definitely seen better days, but we can only spare so much time for mourning. Only by looking to the future can we overcome this crisis, and we'll need all to do our part. I have no doubt Val Wuklamat and Valcorna will share similar sentiments at their address. Alright, well. Seem to be coping well. Despairing alpaca herder. It's not safe here. Not anymore. I could try to leave Tural, but where else is there to go? You look like the well-traveled sort. Please, I can't stay here, but if you're nowhere in Tural is beyond the enemy's reach, what are the lands across the Salt? I know. Even if I ran, I'd know I'd regret it in the end. I love Tural. This is my home. I know the Dawn servants would give their lives to defend her. I'll put my faith in them and listen to what they have to say. Okay, there we go. Alright, so we need to head over to Bayside Bevy and do the same. Alright, we're in the vicinity. We have a stockpiling citizen. I need to stock up on food and medicine as much as I can, and what else is there? I can't afford to forget anything. Sorry, miss, but I'm busy. Too much to do and too little time. There's no telling when those stone men will return. I have to get out of here. Find somewhere safe. Val Wuklamat wants to speak to us. Perhaps she has a plan then. I suppose there's no harm in hearing what she has to say. The panic shopping. Arresting residents. Here, cleaning up is tiring work. You've been busy helping as well, I'm guessing. Right now, it's tough for everyone, but Tulialo won't succumb to this. The new Dawn servants to protect and lead us. We'll get through it together. Does not need to be persuaded. We have a paranoid resident. I can't leave now. What do those soldiers come back? And what are those strange machines looming overhead? Gods, I have so many questions. I see. It would put my mind at ease to learn something, anything of the threat we face. Alright then, I'll go to the Winged Walk. Thank you. I feel better already, and likely better still once I hear what the Dawn servants have to say. Composed merchant, and I'm guessing you probably don't need to be convinced, but we'll check. Phew, the wares are mostly intact. Glad tidings from my clients. Oh, sorry, friend, but I've no time to spare. Val Wuklamat and Valcorna will soon be giving a public address. I have to finish taking inventory before then. Given the circumstances, it must be quite important. You'll want to be there as well. You're trying to encourage me to join. Okay, yeah. That's fine then. It's Brukevu who has role quests for us, but not gonna do those just yet. Oh, there we are. Flustered citizen. Ran right past them. Whatever it is, I don't have time. I have to finish repairing this cart. There's only so much I can carry on my back. When those hollow devils come again, I need to be ready. Well, Wuklamot and Valkona mean well, but they're young and inexperienced. They can barely look after themselves. If we're to survive, I do not know if we can count on them. They're going to strike back at the enemy? So they're resolved to face this. Maybe it's too early to be thinking of running. Alright, I'll go and hear their address. Alright, we need to head back to Sunperch. Alright, let's catch up with everybody. Gona? Thank you again for spreading word of our address. I fear those who needed assurance most would not have been present otherwise. Rahatia? It seems Crow and Aaronville have yet to return. Still busy making preparations for our expedition, I presume. And Alphino? Did you not see Alice on your way here? I didn't. Y'shtola? I was just discussing the gate to the Golden City with Ketenram. He has been patiently answering my few questions. Ketenram? A few questions? More like a bleeding broadside of them. Took me back to my time with Gullif, it did. Charlian scholars, I swear. Alright. It looks like you've brought quite a few people. Thank you. Alice had actually returned ahead of you, but upon hearing that you were still out there, she decided she was unsatisfied with her own efforts and left again. My apologies for involving you all in trolley affairs. We are simply helping dear friends in need. Having traveled the lands of Tyrol, sharing in the rich cultures of your people, I can see it no other way. What's more, Zeralja and his army pose a threat not only to Tyrol, but to the Star as a whole. We'll stand with you to protect what you hold dear. Thank you. I don't expect you've had much, if any, rest. How are you holding up? I'm fine, thanks to a little encouragement from Ayame. You didn't worry about me either. Whatever weariness I feel is no match for my desire to protect my people, restore peace to the nation, and preserve our father's legacy. And it begins by speaking to the people from our hearts. Right. We need to see to a few things first, but feel free to go ahead to the plaza and wait. Their father raised them well. That he did. And then Bakul Jaja sticks out like a sore thumb. I like Kettenram's blue poncho.
Lamachi, are you all right?
Yes, don't worry. I'm ready for it. The fear, and sadness, and anger. Everything.
I am the reason to your resolve. But more than that, I am your brother. You needn't bear this burden alone. Remember this.
As you likely already know, my father, our former Dawn servant, lost his life in the recent attack. He challenged the enemy leader to a duel and fought with skill and valor, and for a moment we believed he had won. But wielding an unknown power, his foe returned from death and struck him down. I could only watch as this happened. I could not tarnish my father's honor by interfering. Many of you have suffered terribly. You've taken wounds. You've lost friends and family. As vow of resolve, I failed in my duty to protect you. Words can't express the shame and regret I feel. And as much as it pains me to reveal this, the enemy leader was none other than my brother Zoralsha.
Zoralsha? It's true! I saw him!
We believe he staged the attack from Yasulani, which has been encased within a mysterious dome. I know that you're concerned for your loved ones there as well. But mark my words, I won't let Zoralsha torment us any further. Our father gave his life to protect our nation, and I'm prepared to do the same.
You say that, but those metal monstrosities are still up there in the sky. What are you going to do about them?
The enemy is still on our doorstep, and waiting for them to strike again accomplishes nothing. That's why we're going to strike first. We are going to take the battle straight to Zoralsha and put an end to it all.
And while my sister sallies forth, I will take charge of the city's defenses. Not another soul will come to harm. We swear to you.
Like our father before us, we will lead with resolve and reason to restore peace to our nation. So please, have patience and faith.
So the resolve goes on the attack. Well, reason shores up the defenses. Sounds like a fine plan. Needless to say, you can count on my sword. Tural's my home, and I'll do my part for it. Hear, hear, brother. That makes two of us. Or was that two of we? Never mind that. What of the rest of you? Will you let others do the work? Or will you do your part and fight?
We fight! We fight! We're Tuliolans because we're united! We'll stand with you and weather this storm!
He's right. This is our nation, and it falls to us to protect it.
We'll fight too! For Tuliolal!
Me too! Me too!
We're all together in this!
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
We've already learned much about our foe, and we will continue to learn more. In time, we will have the means to make their warships fall from the sky. When we join hands with our countrymen and our allies from afar, we're stronger than we dare to hope. Together, let us show the enemy the might of Tuliolal.
You are the beating heart of our nation. Each and every one of you. Uncertain days lie ahead, but for now, I ask you to persevere, to go about your lives as you always do. Only then can we ensure we have the resources to see our nation through these trials. And when the time comes, we will strike. Tuliyola will not fall. We will prevail, and peace and happiness will be ours again.
All right. Well, we got the people rallied. That's good. And we're going to need some sort of anti-aircraft capability. All right, Aaronville. She did well. Stola. It is inspiring to see such diverse people rallying as one. And Kryl. The people of Toral have come together for this fight. We must endeavor not to fail them. How they say? I'm glad so many people came. I wasn't sure how many I had won over, so I decided to keep at it. Alphino? It was a rousing speech, was it not? Let us do our part to ensure that the Dawn servants can fulfill their promise to the people. And Graha. Listening to Wuklamat and Kona, I was reminded of my time in the First. While the Exarch was no king, I often found myself speaking before the people of the Crystarium in like manner, and through their deeds, they answered me. The people of Toral, too, will rise to the occasion, this I can tell. Alright. What's the plan, Alphino? Well, the hour of departure is at hand. Those of us remaining here shall accompany you part of the way. I, for one, would like to see the dome firsthand. We set forth as soon as everyone is ready. I will inform Wuklamat that... there you all are. Ah, Amachi. We were just planning to call on you. Are you ready to leave? I am. Seeing the people come together as one, knowing they haven't given up hope, it was all the encouragement I could ask for. Right then, let's get going. We leave for the Shaktaral Skygate. Alright, and I think that is where we're going to go ahead and end the episode. So, have a plan. At least, again, the rough beginnings of a plan. And so we need to press on. So, we'll work on that when we come back. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.